I should call that radio YCT Radio Yucater. We're live for part 2 of the Double Dunter. We just spoke to Dougie from the Mickey Nines there, and we're now going to go live to Yorkshire. I think Yorkshire.
Lancashire for me.
Lancashire.
For me, for John, it's Yorkshire.
Yeah, I don't want to get my shires mixed up. It's a
punishable by death, that is, mate.
Of China Shop Bull. It's great to have you on the show, guys. And
well, thank you very much. Thanks for having us.
And obviously buzzing to be playing a show with you guys with Girobabies, China Shop Bull, Victor Pope and Pal on the 14th of November at Leith Arches. The Jade's put together. So shout outs to Jade. And when's the last time you played Scotland?
The last time we played Scotland was June 15th, 2023. We did Eden Festival. So it's coming up to a year and a half now, almost 18 months we've not been up there.
Eden Festival, amazing. I'm trying to think, was I there? I'm trying to see if I don't think I've seen you.
That is just outside of Lockerbie, yeah.
Yeah, no, I've been to Eden a few times, but I don't know. I must have missed you. That's annoying.
On the Melodrome stage.
The Melodrome, oh yeah, shouts to the Melodrome crew. A great bunch in the Melodrome. Yeah, I don't know if I was there. I can't remember. Was that the hot year?
No, it was wet.
It was the one that was a soupy slutch muddy fest.
I wasn't there. Right, yes, I remember that one. I wasn't there. But Joe was there, and Joe was phoned me up to get a second opinion that she should go on stage because she couldn't even walk to the stage. It was that muddy. But thankfully I wasn't there that year. Because it makes a big difference. Why can't we just have sunny festivals? And not too sunny either. We played Boomtown once and it was 36 degrees. And that's too much. I mean, 36 degrees at Boomtown is like a desert with sand going into your lungs and stuff. What's the hottest festival you've ever played?
Probably.
Could you repeat that?
42 degrees. In the Czech Republic, it was 43 degrees. We woke
43. See, that's no fair.
And then we drove down to Czech, and then it was super hot.
And how do you have a plan when you're on stage? Because I noticed that when I was on stage, I started moving around. Not that I move around as much as I used to when I was younger, anyway. But I just had to just sort of here, hold on, you've got a full 40-minute set here. Let's go easy.
Yeah, we don't go easy.
No, well,
we don't go easy.
You can't.
I don't think we can now. No. It's not in our nature, really.
Did you hydrate at 44 degrees? Are you hydrating? Are you on a?
Yeah, I think we managed to get through probably about 74 liters of water in a couple of hours. And a few beers.
You see, this was before my time in the band, and I can guarantee you that he's lying and they got through at least 100 cans. Excuse me for 1 second, fellas.
So, John, you see, there has been a couple of changes in the lineup in the last since. I think the last time I seen you is, it might have been when you played the the alternative Burn Supper at McCool's.
Yeah, that was good. Yeah.
So that was ages ago. That would have been, that's a while back now. And the Mugstock gig, which was a while ago as well. I remember. Yeah, was it yourself? Somebody turned up late and just plugged in and went straight on stage.
That'd be Glenn. Yeah, he came. Yeah, came with it. He got there. He did get there, but it was quite late.
the three songs in, I think, if I remember rightly.
We had some guests. We had some guests to get on stage with. We had Laura on the violin, and my 2-year-old son was at the time. He was 2, so he was dropping a bass.
What's the lineup these days? There's been a couple of changes. The original vocalist. So the original vocalist is back. Is that right?
So he came back for a brief period, but he moved on after about 18 months. And the vocals is now sort of a three-pronged attack between John, myself, and Nobby Dobson, who plays trumpet. So it's really good because Nobby's right up Axl Rose high. You know, I've got me and John are good mid-ranges, like, so we've got like the three-part harmonies, but also the three rappers, we all rap really well as well. So it's that sort of really great three-pronged attack nowadays, which seems to be working quite well.
We've done quite a lot of stuff with, you know, like we've had guest MCs in as well, and but yeah, like at the moment we seem to be working with 5 of us plus an engineer, so 6 of us in the band at the moment. The drummers, we've got multiple drummers.
We've got a carousel of drummers. Yeah, they're all they all put in about 25% effort. So like so we've got 3 of them, and so we're missing that other 25%. So if anybody's in the Lancashire, Yorkshire area, and you're pretty nifty and you've got mint jungle chops, give us a shout. Send us a message.
Yeah, it's always good to have a couple of backup performers. We've had many ourselves over the years. Especially, I used to do so many gigs as well. Like I always see you as like, you know, have festivals all up and down the country, all across Europe as well. How was it this summer? Were you busy as usual, or what was the script?
It was good. We sort of seemed to get this year. We kind of ended up playing like a lot of like later on the bill, a bit higher up the bill. So it's always it's an easier gig because you've got a willing crowd that are up for it, and you know, so we've been doing
a lot more forgiving, isn't it?
Well,
the year before we went stupidly busy. I think we did from May to September. I think we had 2 or 3 weekends off, and that was one of them was because of a cancellation anyway. So we went hell for leather, and come September time, like the year before, we were all exhausted. We were all a bit skint, you know. We were all so we thought next year we'd have a bit of pressure off. So this year, we did a heavy April, May, but through June and July, we only actually did one gig, which was Mabfest, which is a new festival that started 2023, and then they did a 2024 one. So that's sort of on the build. I mean, that was it moves around quite a little bit, but if you could follow that on the social medias, Mabfest, that's a great up and coming festival. I put a word in for the Girobabies for you as well to get you on that
nice
line.
One.
Yeah, but it was a bit more few and far between. But just to further on from what John said, we do seem to be sort of like getting up that ladder just that little bit. We had a fantastic show on the Fool's Leap at Boomtown this year. You know, a couple of thousand in the crowd, all the pyro. We had our lovely friends, the Inferno Sisters, with us. Fire eating and spinning fire, and you know, if it's fire, they were doing it pretty much. So the show there is when it's out in all its glory with the bells and whistles, it's quite a spectacle, you know.
We played the Fool's Leap stage, but there wasn't thousands for us. It was quite early on in the day, and as I said, it was 36 degrees.
Oh man!
And the majority of the crowd were kind of to the left in a sheltered bit away from the sunshine. So we had with some hardcore people at the front, and then there was most people hiding in the shelter. And then I think, if I remember rightly, the person that was on after us was Mr. B, the gentleman rhymer, and everyone just appeared for him.
Mr. B, the gentleman rhymer. Do you know, that's got such a resemblance to one of my friends who goes by the name B. He has a band called the B Team, who are taking out on tour come spring. That's an announcement that's going to come later, but they're going to be supporting us for a few shows, and he's another one of the B Team there. Also coming out for a few shows with us in the springtime, and Nascent, which is our engineers band, they're an up and coming band from Burnley. I asked him to give me a line describing their music, and the line he gave me was all things funny and strange found in metal, rock, and psychedelia. So they're a fantastic little outfit, Nascent. If anyone would like to check those out too.
Where was the best way to find them?
Probably Facebook and Instagram there. It might be clips only at the minute. I'm not sure if they've got any solid material out right now, but it'll definitely be out on our tour come the springtime. So if you're a follower of our socials, you can look out for that announcement. We're aiming to get that fully announced for about December time, and that's going to be 10 to 12 dates up and down the UK. Hopefully, get every country in there too. Sadly, I don't think we're going to be able to make it over to Ireland or Northern Ireland, and that's just a sheer cost and logistics thing. So hold our hands up there. But we're hoping to be coming to Scotland, Wales, and England for a full spring tour.
Amazing. Yeah, the Irish logistics has been a bit. We're playing Ireland this weekend.
It's
this weekend.
Back is it on the ferry? It's like it's insanely costly, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it was. We went back and forth with different ideas. One was we'll get the ferry and we'll have a van, and then it was going to be cost too much to insure. Then it was starting to cost a lot to insure the van, and then we just decided, right, let's fly, because it's going to save us hours and hours if we do it that way. But then you're like booking a seat for your instruments and stuff.
Oh, so, no, yeah.
So you're measuring
borrow equipment. Do you know, we'd have to treat it in a way, I think, if we were to do that, and I mean, if there's anybody plugged into the Irish music scene who's listening or going to watch this, when we go to Czech Republic and places on the continent, we generally try and borrow as much equipment as we have, but because we're not as plugged into the scene over there as we are in Czech Republic, it's not something that we have available. So if anybody trusts us enough, I mean, then to borrow us a bit of equipment for shows over there, and any promoters, we're happy to be getting over there.
Well, I'll put the word in when I'm over there next week. We've managed to borrow a drum kit. We've borrowed a drum kit. And,
nice. So that'd be a massive help.
That's a big help, because
I mean, me and John could probably get away with going buying a cheap second-hand Telecaster from a cash converters. As long as all the it's all where it should be, the intonations are in, it's set up all right. I'll find the cheapest 5-string bass I can on market, but we could make it happen if we. I mean, as long as it doesn't cost us a penny and we get a beer, man.
Yeah. Well, there's a will, there's a way. We've got. Yeah, I think the guitarist, he needs his pedals, so that we had to buy.
You book that as a carry-on, yeah. Look, I don't use any on the bass at all. Just clean, straight through, punchy bass. No, but John's got his little case. That's definitely got to be a carry-on. That is China Shop Bull is that pedal board in many ways.
Yeah. So for people that don't know China Shop Bull, where they're maybe thinking about coming to the gig in Edinburgh on the 14th, how would you describe it? How would you describe it best?
It's fun. It's fun to watch. It's everyone's collectively involved with it. So
and it's fun. It's fun. I always have fun watching them. I don't know if I'm going to have fun this time, because we're now on after you, which I'm raging about. But apparently for sound reasons, or I don't know if it was your, but Jade asked if we could go on. So I'm going to have to be watching yous going off. For fuck's sake, we need to follow this. We need to go on after yous guys, which I'm not really looking forward to.
Because you can always put us on last if you want to, mate.
Jade. I'm sure Jade's watching this. It's Jade's call. I'm happy to go. I would rather go and sit last. I think it's a noise. I think it's maybe a noise thing as well. So I think use our noise.
Yeah, we don't mind. We're not precious at all. We're not divas, I promise.
No, I know. No, it's a logistical thing from Jade. He's decided that because we're less noisy, he had some complaints or something like that. So we're on.
Yeah, I think John's also got a coach that he needs to catch home as well after the show.
Something like that. Something about a coach.
Yeah, John's got to catch his coach after the show. So yeah.
So unfortunate.
You're gonna have to follow us, mate.
Yeah, I know. Well, we'll do our best. We'll do our best. But yeah, I don't like going on last. Because I sometimes get a wee bit nervous before gigs. Sometimes no, sometimes I do. But I like to just have one beer before I go on stage, and then I like to have many beers after I've came off stage. So
in typical Scottish fashion.
Yeah, well, no, typical Scottish fashion is having all the beers before you go on stage. But I've learned from that it's unfortunately people's phone cameras are getting
some of these boys must be honorary Scotsmen then, yeah.
Phone cameras got too good, man. There's too much evidence. So I had to reel it in a wee bit before I went on stage. But so what about the writing, recording process? He's working on new stuff just now?
Yeah.
Go on, John.
So we're still still working on new material. Like we've never really stopped. So obviously, sometimes your family commitments are, you know,
family commitments combined with perfectionism as well, because we've all got quite musical brains, but different musical brains. Sometimes coming to like a solid conclusion. We've all got to hear each other out and listen to each other's ways of doing things, which sometimes can take a while, especially, you know, like as John says, we've got the family commitments as well. We've all got kids. We've all got, you know, lives of our own. So but I think what due to that, the end product is always something that's pretty awesome, because we don't just put anything out for the sake of it, you know. And because it's gone through so many musical brains along its path that have come from different backgrounds, the outcomes are definitely worth the wait.
Still chipping away at the studio, basically. So we have the base in Leeds where we've got a studio. So I'll go down there, put everyone's ideas on the everyone will put their ideas on the table, and then we'll sort of mash them out into a track. But yeah,
so is it? Because obviously it's a big melting pot of ideas. You can hear that if anyone's ever seen you live. Is there certain people doing going in a certain direction all the time, or is everyone just quite eclectic naturally?
Yeah, I mean everybody's got like different backgrounds of music. So like mine's quite came from sort of a lot of heavier sort of metal-y stuff. Then I discovered you know, like the Leeds techno scene and you know, all the acid techno, London acid stuff. And then there's like Tom, you've got like quite a, you know, like kind of a rocky and like sort of super tight funk kind of element to it.
Yeah, I've got a sort of broad range of things. I mean, my biggest influences have mostly been sort of classic rock, prog, psychedelia, a lot of sort of Gone, Cosmic Tentacles, Steve Hillage, which is powerful in its own right, but is a lot more sort of, I don't know, I wouldn't even say forgiving, because I mean it's like a full-on psychedelic sort of wall. But yeah, more psychedelia, trippy, atmospheric sort of stuff. But tight and proggy as well. So these guys, it's like just getting on the floor with the boys is a sort of good feeling, you know, because I mean, a lot of the music I play, I've got to concentrate a lot more. I've got to think about a lot more things going on. I mean, you might think playing bass and vocals with China Shop Bull, that's a lot to play, but I mean, I'm lucky enough to be able to separate the two jobs in my head, which means I can sort of have a lot of fun whilst I'm performing the music, whereas some of the music I play, I've got to be a lot more concentrating. So that does double back to what John was saying a minute ago about the band being really, really fun, you know. Yeah.
People that come in with like, you know, the more scary element, like I've got, you know, Glyn with the brass. He's also from a you know, different background with it. So just it all meets in the middle. That's the idea. There's no set genre that we're trying to avoid.
Despite where we all come from musically as well, we all know what China Shop Bull is, so we can all put our China Shop Bull caps on, you know. So yeah, also I mean, which a lot of that comes from John's unique creativity, the unique styles that some of the previous members have had, like Joe Wignall from Rave to the Grave albums, one of my favourite jungle drummers, and I can say that from being you know, from knowing the band before joining. So it's interesting that everyone's put the stamp on it over the time. You know, you've got Obi Joe, who was the rapper before I was, and he can be very philosophical. He's a very well-crafted writer with a great delivery, you know. So a lot of different people have put their stamp on it over the way. And I mean, I've not recorded anything as a sort of as a rapper yet, but Rat Trap's going to come out soon. Which is going to be our single. I mean, I don't know if there's any harm in letting them know that that's our tune we're going to get, because now, you know, it's going to come out at some point once the family commitments and all the things are worked out. But we'll see how it sounds with the sort of new 5-piece shortly. Well, you guys will anyway, from a written perspective, you know, not a live perspective, because we've had the 5-piece now for about a year.
Yeah, and then so the single is. What stage are you at with that single?
We're about 75% of the way there. We've got enough bulk, and now what we're doing is refining and chopping out the right bits and just getting that perfect arrangement and that perfect structure before it comes out.
I'd say it's near the end of the demo phase, and then we record it all properly.
Amazing.
It just takes a while for us, but it's the way it works.
That's the way it is. And so a year of this current lineup, what's been the highlights of the last year, would you say?
Go on, John.
It's been a few. It's been a few. I mean, we played at a Unitarian church on Friday. It was quite good fun.
Excuse me, one moment.
Managed to get.
What's a Unitarian? Sorry, I don't know what a Unitarian means. Sorry.
Neither do I really, but it was a church in Toberdon. So yeah, I had a guy in the pulpit. That was quite good fun. And that you know, we were as respectful as
respectful as China shop Bill can be.
So yeah, I mean, other than that as well, like playing at a lot of festivals, you know, because sometimes you get a gig where it's you know it's a good beneficial gig for the band, and then you get some gigs where it's just like you just really enjoy it, like, you know, so like you know you can go from, like, say, like Boomtown's quite a you know, prestigious event, isn't it? So like you play there, you generally got you know, usually like a good crowd and stuff. We went down.
Yeah, you've got to be in that top percentage of performing bands to get there, haven't you?
We went down to Blue Lagoon and in St David's, and that was just a really awesome place. Like there was actually a Blue Lagoon down there. There in May. That was a really good one.
It was a great family festival too, as well. That it was great for the kids. There's a lot of kids about, you know.
Yeah, we got involved with the jam sessions and stuff.
John got involved in the jam sessions, did he? And our we have a deck bass player called Martin. Sometimes when Nobby doesn't come over from Czech, we have a deck bass player, and I'll just do more of a fronting role. Because obviously I'm playing the bass and doing the rapping at the minute, which, I mean, he's within capabilities. But when we have Martin, and he's a funk master, man. When he comes in, so you had Sam, who's one of our drummers. Martin laying down some absolute Parliament-style funk, and John just freestyle for about 15 or 20 minutes. He built up this great crowd. Absolutely great afternoon, you know.
So, but Blue Lagoon is the Blue Lagoon the name of the festival?
Yeah,
Blue Lagoon is the name of the festival, yes, and it's in St David's, Pembrokeshire, South Wales.
Underground as well. Wales. It's quite underground. They don't do loads of promotion, and they just
no, they don't have to. They've got their regular.
Yeah.
Sort of thing,
don't, when you're in Scotland, don't be swayed by any Blue Lagoon chip shops. I would not recommend the Blue Lagoon chip shop.
I'm from Wigan in Lancashire. I wouldn't go out to a chippy outside of civilization.
It's a chipper.
Right, do you want to see the state of the chippy at the bottom of John's Road, man? They've got
It's not good.
Honestly, not good. Not good.
I've had a bad experience there, but the one on the other road's pretty good.
You have to point it out to me next time I'm at your house.
Yeah.
Well, I think we're quite lucky for chip shops in general, but just the Blue Lagoons sort of turned into a franchise that's kind of taken over, and not for the better, not for the better at all. But what about festival season for next year? Have you got things locked in for next year?
I don't think there's anything actually like that we can.
We're in talks with some of our regulars, but nothing confirmed as of yet.
It's not weird because I'm still exhausted from this festival season, but I've noticed that it just gets so it gets closer every year, because it's like if you don't commit early on, then you don't get high on that bill, or when it comes to getting paid or getting a decent slot and being announced in time and having reasonably legible font. You kind of need to start doing it now, and I'm just like, I don't know if I can do it again this year. I don't know. It's been a lot.
I mean, we you know, when we were first getting going, we definitely, like, I used to pretty much badger festivals to ask them to put us on, and luckily, like, you know, I'm not having to do that so much anymore. We're not really. We tend to.
No, they come to us now.
Well, I mean, we do have some, but generally, like, it's. I think, you know, if we've put on a show and people have enjoyed it, then we're starting to get asked back, or people are intrigued to see what it's all about. So, yeah.
Yeah, you've proved yourself for many, many years. You know that everybody knows what they're getting there, and it is true. It's like once you start playing a couple, you know, a lot of festivals copy each other's homework. They're like, "Who's that?" and stuff like that. So,
Yeah,
you know, word of mouth spreads fast, and you know, you've got your fans that are going to shout you out when the festivals say who should be booked, and then if they see that name popping up a few times, they're like, "Oh, definitely, let's check them out."
So that was it when we first started coming up to. Well, we played in Scotland a few times. Like, we used to play at free parties in Scotland years and years ago. And then when we started coming up again, probably played it like in Edinburgh, just like at Whistle Binkies, and then Jade started putting us on, and then there's with you guys, so we were like coming to, you know, you guys, you know, you smash it basically, so it's good. And
with the good one at McCool's, I can remember he's played McCool's at the Friction Burn Supper. That was brilliant.
Yeah. One of the best ones was the Maid of the Loch, you know.
Oh yeah, the Loch Lomond Boat Party. Yeah,
it was absolutely insane that. And then in the morning there was people like who were sort of climbing out of vans and all sorts, and then there's all these like people being all touristy that are walking past and all these party heads.
Yeah, we had about, I think we had 6 or 7 of those. We had about 6 or 7 years of that.
Really?
And then but basically that was like a charity gig, so
yeah,
all the money went to the repair of the Maid of the Loch, so they got to keep the bar and stuff. And then one year they just said, "Oh no, we've got enough. We've raised enough. We don't need you anymore," kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then I think about a year later they came back and went, "Oh, actually, we need more money. Would you be interested in doing it again?" And I went, "Fuck off, man!" It's just they're like, you know, I think we raised them about 400 grand or something like that. Yeah. And I'm not. I don't want to thank you. Maybe a box of chocolates would have been nice, but not a fuck off.
I've got a personal philosophy, you see, right? For example, we was approached by. We're going to be doing a benefit gig it's a Saturday after we're going to play together in Northampton, and it's a gig for a team called Umbrella, and they're a not-for-profit awareness raising sort of do. And then I was negotiating with them, and they said, "What's your usual fee?" I said, "Blah blah blah. We've got these sorts of logistics, you know, general business talks." But I said to them, "We're happy to do it for expenses and just a pint and a meal for each of the lads." And that's it. You know, if you've not got a budget, you've not got the money, and you're not for profit. I mean, if we can just get the petrol and a meal, and that's like a really nice symbolism thing to have. You know, when you're doing the benefit gigs.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%.
Yeah. So that's a bit of a personal philosophy that I've always kept from sort of my musical start. Is always I don't mind playing for nothing as long as it costs me to get there. And just a beer or a pizza or something, you know, just as like
the beer. It's a gesture, isn't it? Well, I've been in a situation before where I've been the artist liaison or the guy, I don't know what, you know what it's like at that level. It's kind of like you're the artist liaison, stage manager, host, DJ, whatever, and I'm like, where's the rider? And it's like, oh, there's only so much.
Don't talk to me about riders.
I don't, you know, this. Somebody's about to go on stage. They need a beer. You've got to hand them a beer or a cola or whatever they want. But I think at any level there should be an offer of a drink before you go, at the very minimum here. And the one time that I don't think it's only ever really happened once, maybe more than once, but the one that I remember really bad was actually playing the Beaverworks in Leeds. That didn't go so well. It was we were supporting Signal, who are brilliant, obviously.
No, I was there. That was.
Were you at that one? That was chaos. It went
A
wrong.
good one with the riders is we've had some good riders and we've had some bad riders this year. We played a little gig in Fleetwood that our engineer put on. It's a small independent fest, day fest called Batfest. And we negotiated and we come to the price and I said, "Oh, the boys are going to be very thirsty for that price, you know." And the fella Gordy who puts it on, man, you wanted to see the stack of boxes of beer that we had. We had to take her out the street and load them into John's van. How many cans do you reckon were there, John, at Fleetwood this year, a few weeks ago, end of August?
I was driving, wasn't I? So
You picked the wrong time to drive.
Yeah, we must have had 100 cans between us, man. It was good. It was good.
Well, Leeds, we didn't get one beer, and we were on a tour.
Oh man, no, we went and did a gig for. We did a gig last night, and our rider was supposed to be 2 crates of nice lager and a bottle of rum, 6 pizzas. We didn't get the rum, we didn't get the pizzas, and we ended up with 2 crates of Carling. So we got that, you know, and that's worse than one good beer.
I think the worst rider that I remember as having, other than Zero Rider, but actually no, it was probably worse than Zero Rider.
Yeah, the 2 crates of Carling were worse than Zero Rider.
three cans of Strongbow and a frozen curry.
What did you have any way to cook the curry?
No,
yeah. Did it even give you a microwave?
Just let it thaw. Let it thaw.
Out, put it on the engine for a bit, and then just dive in.
Take it on stage and just park it under your oldsters. You know, it'll be cooked by the time you finish your set.
Man, put it on the engine for a bit and just dive in. Oh, that's the worst idea I've ever heard in my life.
Well, there wasn't much between 6 of us anyway. It was in one of those takeaway boxes.
Yes.
Yeah, the Beaverworks guy, he had, I don't think he knew who we were, the promoter. So it was nothing to do with Signal, obviously, shouts to the guys, they're amazing. But there was the promoter, I think we had asked if we could get on the bill because we were playing Manchester. I think we were doing Salford, I don't want to say Manchester to the Salford people. Salford and then Sunderland, and I was like, well, we could actually play with Signal. So we did ask. We were asking for the slot. Do you know what I mean? So it wasn't like the guy, but I just says, if you just look after us or something like that, something vague like that. And then before we went on stage, we'd ran out of money. We had absolutely zero money, and we just asked, "Oh, can we get a pint?" And he said, "No." And then we had to play a gig with no pint. And then we came all the way back. And also the sound engineer. No, the sound engineer was a guy. He was a DJ, lovely guy, but he was just like, I'll be honest with you, I've never done sound before. And I think he was high and having a good night. Lovely guy, but he just didn't know how to do sound. And there was no backline. So our sound engineer at the time had to put a shout out on Facebook. So we got our own backline in. And then if you were actually in the audience, I don't know if you remember this, but there was a woman climbed onto the speaker and then pulled it back. And the speaker landed on the ground. Luckily, no one was hurt.
That's a typical John. That's a typical John move. That is. He pulled it off last night, actually. Oh no, sorry, Friday night, didn't you, John? You sent the Black Star on the back line flying whilst trying to climb onto a church altar.
Yeah. I was completely sober as well, and I was trying to get in the pulpit.
Yeah, I can see why they didn't like us after the game.
Well, no, I don't think I should have been more careful. I wasn't like pissed and reckless. I was just.
Mate, it doesn't matter about the outcome. It doesn't matter about the means. It's the outcome.
It was on wheels.
Sent a fancy Black Star to his death.
I just want to thank. I think it was Glenn who helped me from completely clattering off the back of the stage with a load of amps and lighting rigs. So
yeah.
Glenn.
Our other vocalist Nobby, who plays trumpet, he's got a habit of jumping off stage, and every time he jumps back on stage, the same knee every time he'll slip on like whatever the step or the speaker, and he'll just absolutely mash his leg up, and he'll do the remainder of the set sort of hopping about on one leg with a huge gash running down his face. He's done that a good few times. That's his little trick. John's is climbing on speakers and falling off shit, or knocking it off, knocking the shit over, damaging it, and absolutely frightening sound engineers to death. But I tell you what, it's all for the show. It's a great show, you know.
Well, I've just recovered for the min bit.
Oh no,
so there's no jumping about for me. there'll be no jumping. On 14th November, I promise not to jump. Jade, we got, that's just wrong, a fucking frozen curry. It says PE, fuck the 3 beers. And Alexandra says, hi, Tom. And
oh, hello, that's my sister. Hey, she's 25 tomorrow.
Happy birthday, Alexandra. JR says, running order was initially because of John's logistics, sound checks, etc. When did China Shop Bull actually form? I came across you in 2010 via Doghouse Dundee. You'd already been touring for a while. Yeah, we were actually talking about this before. You've been around for a while. When was the initial thing?
Well, it kind of started forming in like 2004, but then it was probably China Shop Bull by 2008. And then we released the first album in 2010, and that's when we started doing like more stuff like coming up to Scotland and.
That's crazy, man. We're the same. 2000, because we had to work this. We thought it was 2009 we started, so we had a 10-year celebration in 2019.
Yeah,
and then my bass guitarist said it's 2008, but he couldn't prove it. And then he found a flyer, seen that we played in 2008, and our first EP was 2010 as well. So there you go.
Right. Yeah. I remember it coming about around, we sort of started coming across each other like maybe 2014, 2015, something like that.
Well, that would have been the boat party. I think around about then. But I think it was Jade. I think it was Jade was already ahead of the game as usual. Jade's usually quite ahead of the curve, and I think Jade had probably told me about you guys. I think, or was it maybe a sick note thing? I don't know. Maybe Doghouse.
Yeah, I think but if Jade saw us at the Doghouse, that was probably one that we sorted ourselves. We did a couple of little tours up. I think we got as far up as Aviemore. We went up to Aviemore, played at a comedy festival. There was also snowboarding festival, but there was no snow. So it was more comedy, but there was nothing there.
Well, that is comedy. Just inviting people to a snowboarding festival and there's not a bit of snow.
Yeah, it was unlucky really for them.
Yeah, it's unlucky for everyone involved. So yeah, I think well, I'm assuming that's JR. That was Jade there, So Jade has found you at the Doghouse in 2010, and then he's probably introduced you to us after that. And Alexandra says thank you. So yeah, it's get us some beers, Tom.
Right, not the time.
Some birthday beers have been ordered. But yeah, man, amazing. So I'm looking forward to Edinburgh. 14th of November, we have Victor Pope, who they're great fun. Victor Pope, I've known them for years. I actually first came across them at an Edinburgh Fringe, just handing out a flyer, and the show was so funny that the name was so good that we went and checked them at the Free Fringe. So they'll be good fun. And Pal, who I don't know much about, but I just listened to Pal the other day, and they've got a song called the Pal Anthem. So they've given their band an anthem, which is always a good sign, and it's really funny, and it should be a good crack. So it's going to be a fun night all in all. I've put a link here for tickets. I think I've also got a wee code for 20% off that will work just till the end of the show, till the end of the night. Sorry. So YCTR Patreon all caps, that'll get you 20% off for the Edinburgh gig. So just go to Eventbrite and type in the code.
They're on linktree.com/ChinaShopBull for an easy one.
Yeah, I'll do that as well.
Yeah, nice and easy. Linktree.com/ChinaShopBull. The tickets are on there.
The thing is that Linktree is not even a Linktree when you look at it. It's a Linkter E.
Yeah, I've had that confusion before.
Yeah, you think they would have just maybe put the dot in between.
Yeah, it doesn't make a difference though. You spell it as is though, innit? And it generally works.
Yeah, it's
Linkter. But that'll get you there. That'll get you there.
You get all the things there. And what's the best place for people to follow you on to keep up to date with what you're up to?
Everything's on there, man. If you wanna have a look, you've got Spotify, Instagram, Facebook. You've got we'll post all of our tickets. All ticket links are on there. If you wanna find anything to do with China Shop Bull, that is the key right there.
Interesting one though, like it's changing, isn't it? Like people are like, how many followers have they got on Spotify? But actually, it's kind of bollocks, really, because people are starting to leave Spotify for various reasons. Like, I think the one that seems to be like all right, standing the test of time, maybe Bandcamp. I don't know.
Bandcamp is a lot more forgiving for the artists. They often do sort of not-for-profit Fridays, don't they? Where all 100% of the things go to the listeners. So, and I mean, even that just symbolically is far better than Spotify. So, I mean, what should we do? Should we all join the boycott then, or what?
Yeah, well, I boycotted Spotify for about 7 years.
Yeah.
What are you saying, John? Are we going to have it right? Put it to the lads then.
So I brought up the back catalogue about maybe 4 years ago, I think, and then the new album. We brought a new album out this year, Dreams Are Mental, and we just kept it on Bandcamp for the first 6 months or something.
Bandcamp seems to be
just Bandcamp, and the only way you could listen to it was by downloading it on Bandcamp or by buying a CD or a vinyl. That was the only way that you could listen to the album. But then about September, we just put it on. We put it on Spotify, and obviously we've lost the momentum, the buzz. So everybody that likes us has already listened to the album through another method. So we kind of sort of ruined our buzz. But the more and the more I see it, I think it's just like it's a lot of shit. I mean, I've yet to meet one person who said, "Well, I was listening to Spotify and then the algorithm suggested you, and that's why I've came to your gig." But I feel like so that's why I just go Bandcamp and then put it on Spotify eventually. But yeah, I mean, I think I'd be happy to join a boycott of it. It's just, unfortunately, it's quite a handy app for listening.
Yeah, I approve.
They have actually made a good app, which is fucking annoying, and that's where most of the people listen to their music. But I mean, the only reason that the boycott is going to work though is if we need it's people in the majors just need to take all the songs off,
that would be
or people are just going to listen to all the classics on there and not any new music. So it's a tough one, but respect anyone who is boycotting it as well. I may boycott it. We want to go in an ideal world. You want people to buy things in Bandcamp, buy things physical, buy the T-shirts, and then stream it in Spotify.
Yeah, maybe a good idea is to use Spotify as a means to discovering people and then listening to them on other platforms or buying the physical merchandise from other platforms. Because that way, you know, the Spotify, if the streams go down and people are just using it to scroll but not click play, and then go find that music or physical product somewhere else, that could maybe make Spotify change their ways and be a bit more forgiving towards the artists that are buttering their bread.
Yeah, it's a shambles. It's a shambles. The whole thing is, it's fucked. It's a bit fucked. Hopefully it'll balance out and get better again.
I was thinking, like, let's just put some posters up and do it old school. But then I don't know, would people see them? I mean, there used to be so many posters up that people wouldn't see them because there was just posters everywhere. And then now it's like, maybe if you put a poster up, people would see it because there's less about, you know.
Yeah, well, just a poster saying "fuck Spotify." See
your events and all that.
This is why John's not in charge of promotion and marketing.
I still put posters up. I still do the flyering. I'm sure JR does as well. The first gig you came across them was actually the Loch Lomond Boat Party in 2013, when I booked Cherry Shop Bill and Barroom Crawl. The police arrived. I think the police usually arrived.
Oh, we had the police arrive recently as well. We did a gig in Stroud at Gripstock. It's like midnight. The police, it was on private land, so they couldn't really do anything. Sort of borderline all right for us to be doing it, but they did come after midnight and tell everyone to shut up and be quiet. Luckily, we'd already played by this point. But me and John were walking from one field to another, and then we were the first people they saw walking up this track, and we just had this spotlight in our face. And at this point, you know, John's a few beers deep, but I mean, I'm not a bit less of a drinker. So I was like, but John, in his infinite wisdom, decided to do the talking, and he just didn't. Out of the, say, 15 words he tried to say, like 12 of them were probably like unintelligible. And I was just like, fuck's sake, why did he do the talking? And we just, like, other people started walking past, started speaking to them, and we just turned dipped and went straight off.
Well, they said, "What's all this then?" You know, like, hello, what's this? What's going on here?
Yeah, I thought I should have said something like,
I don't know. But he's like, But I was like, there's some people, there's some bands,
Yeah. He said, "What? You don't know anything about it, and you're carrying instruments?"
Who's in charge of this? I don't know.
In hindsight, I probably should have said, "Good afternoon, officer. Someone seems to have stolen my soul. What are you going to do about that then?" In hindsight,
In hindsight, it was all right, to be honest.
Yeah, they weren't too bad. They were just making sure that we all shut up because there was residents. No, look.
Wait, did everyone shut up?
Well, yeah, we did, because I think they want to do it every year. They do it on private land, and they want to do it on every year. So, if they were to take the piss a bit, then they probably clamp down on you a lot more next year when you try and do it. So it's trying to just maintain that bit of a balance. Whereas, it's our land and we will do what we want. But, obviously, if it's having a knock-on effect into residential areas, we can't be sort of militantly taking the piss through the night in certain places, can you? When you're given that little bit of leeway, you sort of take it and give that back with, to make sure that we can still have a scene and maintain the gigs and whatnot.
And also, you just don't know as well with the way that the wind blows as well with noise. It can be all right one night,
isn't it?
And then one day it's crazy.
You're getting recently. There's been quite a few big, not technically legal parties that are, in the papers. In the papers, it's been saying, "Oh, police use new measures to crack down on party," and then you hear about it somewhere else, like not the police or the local newspapers, and they're saying, "Oh, it went on for like 3 days, and the police were fine, and everyone was fine, and it was all right."
The same thing happened in Spain last year as well. A party went on for 5 days, and the locals were all for it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's not always. Obviously, you're never going to keep everybody happy, and like you got to be respectful, like of certain things, but like obviously never make a mess. Like that's the thing.
Yeah,
you got to maintain a certain balance. Where if you take the piss, then they're going to have people. You're going to obviously piss people off, and people are going to stop you doing what you want to do. If you've got that little bit of respect for the community, because obviously, it'd be ideal to do it so far out of the way, but the logistics of having your party up on the moors, you're getting all your equipment up there, and it's just not feasible at the level that sort of things are happening, inevitably we're going to have these things fairly close to residential areas or businesses, so you've got to maintain some sort of balance to sustain that ability to be able to put the events on.
Yeah, 100%.
But twice recently, there's been one in Burnley and one in Home Valley. Well, and they both the news outlets have been saying, "Oh, police crack down and stop party," and then actually, that's not what happened. They were just all right. They probably didn't have to do it.
That's not a good news story, is it? The police stand up and all that. It's all right. There's a really good.
But it was like, I guess they wouldn't have had the resources to actually stop it. Like, and you probably get a lot more trouble on a night out in the city centre.
Absolutely,
way more trouble. Yeah,
you're not going to get any. You don't get any bother at these parties. Not really. I seen a really good video. It was a Welsh woman, an old Welsh woman, and the news reporter was trying to sort of get her to say that it's terrible that all these people are coming over here for a rave. And the two, her and her husband, were just like, "Oh, there were no bother at all. They were just sleeping in. We made them a brew. I'm sorry, I'm not getting that. Sorry, it was a Welsh accent, but we made them a brew and they loved it. So, some people are just quite they like something different happening, especially if you're living in a quiet part of land where nothing ever happens. It's the talk of the town. It could be a little bit inconvenient, but local businesses benefit from it as well. And like you said, showing a bit of respect, turning it off at a reasonable time, and the most importantly, leave no trace and make sure everything is as it was before it began.
And and as well, as you get older, you got to think it's a little bit more fun to do these things during the day than it is, for like all through the night, because we're all getting on a little bit. I'm 10 years younger than John, but I still feel it after going till bloody 6, 7 in the morning. So maybe these midday to midnight events are the way forward, you know, and try and get the community involved as much as it can, build a bridge between us and them, try and have it in a slightly more public place where the community can see that it's not all bad, you know. There's ways and means of doing it. I mean, I suppose, but I think the bottom line where the conclusion we're coming to is don't take the piss and people will sort of let you do what you want to do.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
100%, and 100%. And well, give us a shout if you find any next year. I always like a wee party myself. But daytime raving is the future. It's quite a big thing in Glasgow just now.
Yeah. Well, as I say, we are booking this spring tour. So we're obviously going to be doing our show together on the 14th. But knocking on from that, we are looking for 2 dates up in Scotland. So if we can, if you want to maybe help us out up around March time, we'll definitely put you on at a couple of shows down in Lancashire, Yorkshire, somewhere in England.
We have something in March already. We've got March the 28th. If anyone's watching, put that in your diary. March the 28th for Glasgow is going to be a big day. So I'll keep you posted on that one. And I'm sure Jade's always good at getting sorting gigs out as well. So next Friday. Next Friday, November the 14th, Friday night at the Leith Arches. It's China Shop Bill, it's Girobabies, it's Victor Pope, it's Pal. It's going to be a good night. And we have, go get your tickets for Eventbrite just now because it probably will sell out. And guys, it's a pleasure as always. I'm buzzing to see you next week. And is there any final promo? I've got the link tree in the comments for everybody to give you a follow. If you're listening to the audio podcast, it'll be in the info bit for the link tree. What else is coming up apart from
what I will say is, I think we've got one show coming up in Northampton that we're going to have an announcement for soon, which is a benefit for Umbrella, who are a not-for-profit community project. The event they're going to be doing is around anti-racism and environmental issues to do with clean air in Northampton, due to quite a lot of industries and companies sort of not pulling the weight with the environment and making living conditions a bit shit for local residents. So we're going to turn up and do a benefit gig for those. But as far as our own shows, this one that we've got coming up with yourselves on the 14th is the last one in the calendar, but we are going to be out heavy in spring. We're going to be trying to get to our best to England, Wales and Scotland. And there's going to be a big announcement coming, hopefully by December or the new year. But 100% we are going to be out there. So if you check that link tree that's on the screen now, you'll find all that coming up shortly in the next month or two.
Brilliant stuff. Cheers, George. Cheers, Tom. Thank you. I'll see you in a fortnight. Let's see. We got. Or also, if anyone's tuned in and happens to be in Ireland, we're going to Dublin on Friday, Dundalk Saturday, Derry on Sunday, a week today, and then it's Edinburgh the 14th. So busy wee week ahead.
Yeah, have a good one. Hope it goes well.
Yeah, we'll hopefully see everybody there.
Mm-hmm.
Nice one, mate. All right, guys, take it easy.
Nice one.
Bye.
See ya.